Well, for Pete's sake, you're not even warmed up. Probably out of gas. Well, she keeps running out of gas on me, so I just keep filling up the bowls. Just trying to get her over to the other side, you know, so we can figure out what we're gonna do with the engine situation. Thought we would have had fuel up here by now, unless the gauge is wrong in the car, which is very possible. It's reading 1/4 of a tank, but who knows if that's accurate. We'll give her another shot. when she wants to run, it don't hate this little Edelbrock carb at all. I just still can't hardly believe there could be anything wrong with this motor. You would hear something clanging, clacking, throwing fits. God, it's a sweet ride, isn't it? I know, that's why most of you guys are here. We're getting back to it. Let me close up here a little bit. Oh, running out of fuel in the bowl. Let me shut the key off here. Oh, I got it. Okay. She's back over in prime time side of the shop. You know what that means. Oop, don't forget your fuel bowl or your Mountain Dew bottle. Get the shop closed back. Boy, this side's dirty. There's that wrench. I've been looking for that. I'll be damned. That thing's been gone for a while. What else is over here that I haven't seen for a while? I think that's it. Bunch of dirt. I need to get this cleaned up. What a mess. Well, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Holo Project. We're finally gonna get back on the Cadillac. Hope everybody's sitting down. Yeah, you're telling me. It's been too long. So as you just seen, I pulled it out and threw it over here on the lift side, and it kept running out of fuel. So I had to keep priming the bowls on the carb, fired right back up, run it till the bowls ran out. So the gauge on the dash says I have a quarter tank. Either we have fuel or the sock is plugged again after I pulled the tank and cleaned all that, or the new pump that I put in, which is the second pump, is failing, or the filter up here in the engine bay is plugged. I don't know. More importantly though, we gotta drop the oil out of this and see what it looks like. It has not a ton of runtime on it, but it should have enough on it to give us an idea if we're having major internal mechanical issues. So we're gonna toss her up in the air and check the oil, drain it, have a look at it, you know. Well, now that we got her up in the air, let's just have a look. It's been a while since we've been under here. So let's just see how many different areas it's puking oil and tranny fluid and everything else from. Actually, so far it looks pretty good. Maybe a dribble on the drain plug. That could have been from the oil change. A little bit from rear of the oil pan, it looks like, which kind of halfway expected that, because the last time we dropped this pan it was on the ground on our backs. A little bit of oil coming from the oil filter mounting housing thing, or it's coming from maybe the valve cover. A little bit of tranny fluid, which that has always done that. Some more tranny fluid back here. Those two lines, they just always have a seep. I don't know why. Otherwise, looks pretty good. I know someday here we should probably at least drain the fluid out of this rear diff. If it's got a drain on it, that's probably the fill plug. I don't know. Be nice to kind of just have a look and see. We haven't put floors in it, in case anybody's wondering. Okay, well, let's get the, we're gonna get the clear pan out and throw it up in the drainer and drain the oil into that clear pan, and so we can have a real good look at it. So let me get this thing drug over there and we'll drop the oil. All right, well, I should preface this video and just say right out of the gate, this is not gonna be a drain the oil, find metal, pull the engine, rebuild, put back in, have on the road in one video type deal. For those of you that have been around long enough, you understand that. For any, holy shnikes. For any of the new folks, this is how our stuff operates. We you know, we don't work just down here at the shop full time. So if that's what you're expecting, you might as well leave the video. But what we are gonna do is have a good look at this oil and hope that our findings indicate that there's nothing extremely terrible in it. However, I make no guarantees. It already looks pretty bad. That's pretty crappy looking right out of the gate. So, if I were a betting man, I would go ahead and probably guess that our cam bearings are shot. Just based on the fact that we were missing that plug. If you remember, that was behind another plug, and we had no oil pressure getting to anywhere that it should have gotten to. Example being camshaft. Well, this has a flat tappet cam in it, so as you can imagine, no oil pressure probably means either the cam didn't break in right, the cam bearings are roasted, I don't know, any number of those things, I suppose. Don't spill it. So we're gonna go ahead and take this oil, set her over here so we can get a good look at it. And then we're gonna come over here and really put a good light on that. And it really doesn't look that bad. Look at that, my Steelers bracelet broke that my buddy's daughter made for me. Right in the oil drainer. Son of a biscuit. I don't know. I mean, there's a little bit in there, but honestly, it doesn't really look much different than the 355 that we just put in the El Camino. Let's have a look over here. Boy, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have much at all in it. Maybe it just looks kind of dirty. It's kind of hard to tell. This diesel oil, that it seems to always have a kind of a unique look versus your conventional motor oil, especially after you run it, you know, and it sets overnight. For being the bottom of the oil pan though, that doesn't look that bad at all, in my opinion. If this fan, or Jesus, if this camera had better focused where you could actually focus it in, it'd be easier to kind of show you guys, but being that it's a GoPro. They're nice in their own right, but close-up shots of stuff aren't the best. Let's grab this guy here. I don't know. That to me, I mean, it really doesn't look much different than just dirty oil. I don't see a bunch of flake and stuff in it. I mean, there's a little bit of, I don't know if you can kind of maybe see that little, there's a little line kind of across there, and I think that's what we initially seen when the oil first started coming out. Maybe see it better there. Otherwise, I really don't think it looks that bad. But we are going to pull the oil filter and we'll cut that open and have a look-ski in there. And then we may end up dropping the pan as well and taking a look inside the pan. Have to get another gasket on order, and then to take the pan out, you just got to unbolt your steering and stuff up here, drop that down and unbolt your two exhausts and let that hang, and the pan comes right out, so that's not a big deal. Doesn't have the old Chevy 350 crossmember coming across here. So let's go ahead and stick the drain plug back in there. Maybe without the dog hair. Come on now, don't be shy. And boy, I don't know. I know the last time we kind of talked about the oil and looked at it, there was a couple guys that said throw some heavyweight oil in it, run it for a couple hundred miles and see what you get. And we had 1540 in it, Rotella T-Fort, and that's what this is. Before that was break-in oil. So the first batch of oil that had kind of a pretty nasty look to it was all break-in oil. Let me grab my light. And hopefully I didn't bench press this filter on. I did not. 850.49. Remember that number. We got to go get a new one. Now see, that looks completely fine. Looks just like normal, clean engine oil, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about these CarQuest filters, but I kind of have mixed reviews. Let's run this over here. And then we'll set her back in the drainer here. And I'll kind of clean it up in my hands here and see, it looks like just clean oil. And then we'll get out the cutter and we'll cut that baby open. All right, if you guys haven't seen one of these, you can get them on Amazon. They're pretty slick. I'll kind of show you how she works here. Actually, let me drop this down. Something about like that. and you just open her up. Until she fits all the way down on there. Flush on the seal. Tighten her a little bit. Start running her around. Tighten a little bit as you go. There we go. Watch yourself so you don't slice your fingers open. Pull our little seal out of there. You can definitely tell the filter's still clean. Set that down there. All right, let's get a light and have a look. Just a little bit of glitter in there. I'll bring in here. A couple bubbles. Let me grab yeah, there's a little bit of metal in there, it looks like. I'm gonna clean out this area here, and then we're gonna dump this through through one of the pig mats so we can kind of see what we get. Okay. All right. Just kind of looking for bigger chunks, I suppose, to see if we capture anything. We're going to pour this out slow so we can kind of look at the bottom of it too. Take our spring out of there. Oh, dirty dog. Piece of grass in there. That don't count. I don't know. I don't see anything like super concerning. That looks like pretty clean oil to me. We might be lucky. I don't see a whole lot of anything really in there either that's concerning. So I think what we do is we change the oil again and let it ride for the winter. Not seeing anything in the pleats, chunks of anything. I think our telltale is going to be in the spring. You know, I think what we do from here is you know, keep working on the car and to where it's drivable, you know, more than just around the block in town. It needs tires extremely bad. These things are cracked, something fierce, and yeah, it just needs tires. 235, 75, 15. So we're gonna have to find some tires for it. And hopefully we can find a floor section and some carpet. The shitty part is this poor floor is rotted, you know, clear up here almost into the transmission tunnel. So we're gonna have to get, you know, a good majority of it. Exhaust is absolutely shot. If you remember right, it does have one floor patch in it. Sorry about the lighting. Here, let me grab a light since there's one hanging right there. But yeah, it needs a tremendous amount of work still. But I think that engine's okay. What do you guys think? Drop her down there in the comments and let us know what you think of it. I know Paul, you've got a pretty good eye for it. Don, so do you. So a couple of our longtime followers, Scott Nichols, you guys chime in. Let us know your thoughts on it. What do you think? Should we knock the exhaust off this thing? I was gonna call it a pile, but I won't. Anyway, we got her up here in the air and got the exhaust kind of hanging here. Of course, I had to put a screw jack under the frame and lower the arm and then slide it back in so I could get the exhaust below it. But so we took this clamp off that was back here, and this isn't welded. It's just, I don't know, 2.5, 2 1/4 to same size to chicken shit welds to this maybe 2-inch pipe, and same up here, it's all cobbled together, and right here it's all cobbled together. Yeah, and this is smashed and bent, and this is smashed. It's just, it's terrible. It's you know, this back here is fine, coming up and over the axle and through, you know, this fun stuff back here. But I mean, really, you could, why doesn't a guy just put dual on it? I don't know, I'll have to look. But anyway, I've got the old hammer out, just beating the ever-living snot out of this, trying to get this knocked off of here. It's not welded, but it's, I don't know, it's been on there. I dented it. It was all, this thing was all ballooned out. I think it's probably had moisture in it sometime in its life and swelled all up. So I'll, you guys can watch from, how's that? You guys want to watch from there? That way I don't smoke you with the exhaust when it hopefully comes flying off of there. Well, we'll go ahead and give her, we'll give her a wallop. If anything, maybe we can just get a muffler and throw on there. But yeah, for now, let's just try to get her off of here. And I'm going to do that the easiest way possible, with a big dead blow. She probably ain't even, she's not even moving. Holy smokes, I might have to cut her off. What if I jam a flathead in there and try to convince it to come off? It's been, well, the clamp that was on it wasn't very good either. Watch your thumb now. Holy smokes! We may end up giving her the old cut treatment. I just spilled a bunch of fuel on the ground behind the car, putting gas in it, so this ought to work out pretty well. Well, I think that side's through. Don't forget your safety squints when you do this, folks. All right. Let's grab that's enough out of you, crazy. Maybe we can get her to move now. At least we were able to get the old flathead under it. Let's have a go on this side over here. Oh yeah. All right, how about now? You want to come off? She considered it for a minute, anyway. It's rust welded. You guys ever heard that term? Rust welded. Oh yeah. She gotta come off of there now. Yeah. Come on. Well, hammer time. Well, how far on there are you jammed? Missed. Missed. Holy cow. They got the exhaust stuffed halfway into the muffler chamber. Got it. Yeah, they had the clamp so tight it just crushed this outer part of the muffler. And you can see it's garbage. This is all cobbled. We tried trying to seal that up with my old welder that didn't work very well. Welding rusty steel doesn't either. Look at this pipe. I mean, it's flat. That bend is basically flat. We'll have to get on the line and see about finding an exhaust. Or at least a muffler. Yeah, we'll leave that guy up there. Okay, well, we can take our pan off now. No, we can't. We gotta drop this down a little bit. And you can do that just by unbolting those two bolts that you can't see from the idler arm, or Pitman idler over here. Pittman over here. Idler. Nope. Pittman. Okay. Well, I'm going to set up and get those 2 bolts out of that. We'll lower this section down. Then we can unbolt that sumbee, I believe, and drop her. Nope, we can't. We got to pull the starter too. Dang it. Oh boy. You guys know, I went to get a new oil filter for this last night, and oil, and I cross-referenced the CarQuest part number that I had on it while I was at O'Reilly, and you wouldn't believe, it's a 850149, I think, in the Wix number. You know how much that filter was? $22. $22 for an oil filter. I couldn't even hardly, never in my life would I fathomed paying $22 for an oil filter. Unbelievable. Hey, don't let me forget to put this idler back up before we put the exhaust back on. Because it's a lot more difficult with the exhaust on. Because you're right here where the downpipe would hook up. Just a word of advice, anyhow. There we go. That should give us enough room to get that pan out of there now. I also forgot to unhook the battery. And I forgot that I had to take the starter off. So let me lower her back down and disconnect the battery. And then we'll pull the oil pan off. Alright, pop the starter out here quick. Maybe you guys can see what I'm doing. Probably not. Probably don't have the camera even close to where I'm working. That's okay. Matt recorded a video ending last night for one of his videos and had the camera facing the wrong direction. That was awesome. He had to call and tell me all about it. He went back to review it, and it was facing the wrong way. That's pretty good stuff. All right, well, let's take the last couple of bolts out of this pan. Got these 2 back here, and then the 2 up front above the cross member. Those are not fun to get to. Those washers are going to come falling off of there and go flying across the shop floor. There she goes. All right, these 2 up here, you gotta kind of finagle. Let's see if maybe my quarter inch will do her. Whoop. Don't hit your head on the starter that you got hanging by wires. Oh, do I have a wobble? Oh, baby. I'm really hoping that this doesn't look terrible when we get the pan off here, but can't make any promises, I suppose. Pull a couple rod caps and a main cap just to double check everything. Oh, there's the fourth one. Pretty sure that's a homemade washer there. Oh, let's see. Maybe I had to turn the tires. There she is. Hello, sweetheart. Let's take her over to the inspection bench. All right, well, there she is. And I know that that's probably very difficult for you guys to see, but I don't see anything in there that's crazy. I would say that looks pretty freaking okay. Maybe a little fuel in with it. It smells a little fuely, but I don't see anything in there that's concerning. And if you come over here and have a look, I don't know if you can see the cross hatching. Everything's good in the cylinders as far as the eyeballs can see anyway. The cylinder walls look great, as they should. You know, this thing's got like no runtime hardly on it at all. So, in my very unprofessional opinion, I'm not super worried about this thing. Other than that was scarier than shit the first time we dropped the oil. But it didn't look that way the second time, which is a good thing. You can kind of see the cam. I don't know that I really see anything concerning on the cam lobes either, if I'm being honest. Alright, we are going to take a couple of caps off. I've got this one unbolted. I'll be really curious what this guy looks like here. And I knew this was one of them. Let me go over here. This was one of them that had the little bit of a groove in it beforehand already. I don't see any copper or anything like that though. Let's see what let's see what that cam or that crank journal looks like. Blocking all the light. You can feel a little bit, but where's my other light? There it is. It's not the best, but that cylinder was like that. Keep in mind this little oil groove here goes north to the top. So let's take its neighbor off, and then we'll probably take this main cap off as well. Alright, here's our next one. Obviously it did get, there must have been something in that motor. Piece of trash or something that went through them, because there was only one of them that looked like this. And now we've got a couple. No copper or nothing, but you can clearly see something went through it. And looking at the crank journal on this side, it doesn't look terrible, but it did have something. And you can see, I mean, you can see those are pretty fresh. So let's take and thread this one back on, and let's take a main cap off and see what that looks like. All right, well, we got through the holidays. I had a great time. I love being able to see family and friends and doing all the wonderful holiday stuff. Now we're back to work down at the old shop and at the day job. It's the day after Christmas, and we're back down here getting fired up. And I came back home to a surprise. Look what you guys did for me. You put the dang oil pan back on. But I tell you what, that was awfully nice of you, because that just saved me about 4 hours of work, because they're a real pain in the butt. As I see, you know, that's okay. You guys went through one extra gasket, no big deal. But yeah, you guys found out that these two ends go up in there, and then the gasket layers over the top to hold it in on the front and rear. And if you can get these things to stay, you're lucky. So I definitely appreciate that. We are gonna wrap up for the night now that you guys got all this done for me, and I don't have to mess with it. But tomorrow night we're gonna start getting all the rest of the crap back on here. I want to let this silicone, looks like you guys might have just finished it up not too long ago, so I want to let that silicone set up for a little bit, and then yeah, we'll carry on. I gotta plug in my lights here. Look what I got. Rechargeable batteries. I always used these when I did this for a day job, you know, 20 years ago. I bet you the technology's advanced a little bit. I got all the AAAs and a bunch of AA's, and then this big charger that does both AAA's and doubles from the old Amazon. It was like 50 bucks for all of it. But I mean, when you need one of your lights to work and your batteries are dead, you just grab another set of batteries. And I think I left the light on over here. Did I? Other than that one? Nope. Where did I put that one at? Or it went dead. Anyway, yeah, it's a real time saver when you can just swap out batteries and carry on with your night. I'm gonna remote start the nice truck. We brought the nice truck down tonight. And then you know, it's really foggy. I don't know if you guys can see. Look at my little Christmas lights in here. It's clearing up a little bit out there. But ooh, did I show you my new sign in here too? $14 at the old Snobby Lobby. Just got a little button here, plugs into the wall. But you know, you can actually kind of see when you walk into the bathroom now, instead of fumbling around for the light switch, which is halfway in the bathroom. I had to move my Cadillac and Route 66 signs over. I did have those up here, but I didn't have a whole lot of places to put this that were close enough to the plug-in. There's another plug-in over here by the sink back there, but it's, if you plug anything into it, it just trips the breaker. So, Madison, can you tell the good folks at home what you got for Christmas? Did you get a big stuffed lamb? Yeah, you did. And a new bone. Spoiled rotten. Anyway, that's enough of me babbling. We have the exhaust yet to do. This is off the El Camino that I had laying around. We're gonna delete the muffler, weld this chunk in, and just straight pipe it for now. Yeah, so we got work to do. See you tomorrow. All right, well, it's the next day. We threw our cover and stuff back on here. Sorry, I got this light blinding you guys. Threw our starter and stuff back up in over here. Got that cover back on. This has been sitting overnight. We gotta bolt this back up, which we'll do here in a minute. And then if you come over with me over here, we got our No Muff 2 Tuffler cut off of our factory exhaust here. And we're basically just gonna try to match up. This kind of goes like this, or did. So we just need basically that piece. And I'm hoping we can make something out of this over here work lengthwise. And I don't know, we may have to put a slight bend in it because it's not gonna, you know, it's gonna kind of come out on the wrong side essentially. So we'll have to figure that out, but I'm almost wondering if maybe if I pie cut it here to twerk it over that way a little bit, and then this will end up coming out straight, you know, with that piece shifted this way, because that's already got that bend in it. So we're gonna have to play around a little bit there, but we're gonna get this bolted back up here real quick, and then we'll start dinking around with this exhaust. And I'm actually kind of hopeful. Well, we got to figure out, I don't know if I even showed on camera, probably didn't because it was too sketchy, but I actually set this screw jack under the frame here and lowered the lift to get this arm down enough to get that exhaust out, because it shoots through this gap on these X-frame cars. So, anywho, let me get this bolted back up over here, and then we'll see what we can dig together on this exhaust. All right, well, we did some exhaust repair, patch panel. We're gonna kind of loosely get this all mocked up in here, and that way we can figure out what we got to do to connect these two bad boys together using scraps and one clamp. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of our hardware here, and we're gonna attempt to loosely throw this back up there so that we can get some measurements. Let the struggle of the day begin, 'cause that's what happens 90% of every day. There we go. Yeah, that's right where I wanted that. And where I wanted that. Okay, that one's in there. Now, let's slip our other gasket in over yonder. Maybe. Nope. All right, 4.5 hours later, we got this snugged back up. That was a fight, let me tell you. Which, you know, that's everything on this car, so. All right, now we can figure out what we're gonna do from here to here. Let's bring this light over here. There, how about that? We can see. So it almost kind of looks like, if you look from this side, like I might be able to get something fairly close to lining up here. Poor floors. Those will be coming soon. So yeah, we just need a piece to go from here to here. Might need a slight angle on it. Might need to figure out a hanger too. But I was hoping that maybe we could just use this chunk if it measures out right. So what we've got is about 19 7/8, and what we've got down here is about too short. Well, it's the right length, but we'd have to get up into this. And it looks like somebody put a clamp on it and chicken shit welded it, as you can see here. So that's gonna work out pretty good. We've got this piece, which I believe is the same size pipe. This is 2 1/4, and I think this is 2 inch. And I think what we've got up here is 2 inch. Except for this piece that was cobbled onto this piece, which this is, oh, look at that, it's got a part number on it. I don't know, 2 1/4 probably here. So we got to do some figuring. All right, we busted this clamp off. What we're going to try to do is just cut right on the inside of this weld. And if I take some of this pipe with me, I don't really care. But we're just going to try to separate this. I don't know, this is going to be way too big though. I think even this pipe we could damn near slip over the 2 inch. Oh boy. Well, we might end up having to make something out of this. I don't really know yet. We got her off. A little bit of a fight. Woo! Kind of out of breath. Hot, sweating. Oh boy. Let's just see. Boy, we might be able to just make that work. I'll be go to heck. Let me get you guys set up and we'll struggle trying to get... Well, what I just recorded was in super fast, ultra high speed loop mode, whatever they call that. But anyway, here's what we're working with. This here on this end is the same size. And I think we could manipulate that and get a clamp on that. This side over here though, we're gonna have to figure out how to fill like a 1/2 inch gap. That's gonna be, you know, terrible. But I want to be able to just clamp on one side. That way, if we got to take this down, you know, we're able to. Unlike the last time, everything was full welded. So it'd be nice to have a chunk, you know, somewhere in here that you can just take the clamp off and separate it. But this side here is going to be something else. If you use one eye, and well, you don't even have to squint, you can see it. I don't know if that's gonna work. That's a massive gap. Oh, we're gonna have to figure something out there. All right, well, we ended up going into O'Reilly's and getting a chunk of pipe, and I think what we're gonna do, we're just gonna come off of that, and we're gonna line these two pieces up right here and go snip, snip. They pretty much line right up. Snip here, probably can't see my finger. Snip here, clamp, done. And then on that end, we'll just clamp. What do you think? Super ghetto, but for now, it'll work. I'll mark this and I'll weld this portion of it together and then we'll clamp the two ends of it. Just, oh, actually looks pretty good right there. I mean, that matches up pretty good. Where'd you guys put my marker? Will it stay there? Perfect. Done. Okay, marked. I'm gonna get this welded up and then we'll jam it in here. All right, well, that's welded up. Very, very, very piss poor weld. Just about out of gas, so I had to just really go fast, and it kind of piled up and looks terrible, but it'll seal. So now we just got to get our clamps out. We'll jam this thing in there, tighten it up, and then we're going to come back here and fix this exhaust clamp on the back because it's non-existent, and basically the whole exhaust system is just flopping around. This clamp is still intact, or hanger, sorry. This one's still intact. This one's gone. The one in the back is gone. So we'll at least get the one back there, and then we might look at doing something up here, but I don't really know quite yet. What was supposed to be, you know, a short process here has turned into just a 2-week process, but you know, that's how that goes. Okay, we got clamps. We're gonna clamp this thing together, and we'll be cooking with a grease fire. My brother loves that because I say it in about every episode. So we'll continue the tradition. Boy, we're just winning everywhere today. This one's actually complete and it has this center brace in there. That one, not so much. Oh God, what a dumpster fire. Anyway, let's get this thing out of here and get the actual lift back under it. La-di-da-di-da. Let's see if these loosen up. one. Slip him under there. And kind of try to line things back up-ish where they were. That looks terrible. Rotate that up. All right, and then we'll grab our new strap here. See what we can finagle. Should rename the channel to Cobble Project. Probably be more appropriate. And then we'll take the old one and we'll put him through there, and we'll kind of give this a tug upward and jam it back through that hole. And we'll tighten that guy up, maybe. Nope. Let me get a wrench. Didn't need a wrench coming apart. We'll use one now though, I reckon. Well, come on. Hey, look at that. She's got a hanger. That wasn't too bad. Should I leave this flap hanging down so everybody knows? We'll cut it off. I suppose. Don't want to be that big of a hack. Oh, today's been nothing but hackery. Just terrible. Feel bad even recording it. Both those exhaust bands are gonna leak, by the way. I can almost guarantee you money on that. I'm gonna cut the rest of that strap off, and then we're gonna lower this thing down and put some oil in it. Oh, we'll get this filled up here in about 45 minutes. Feel free to take a nap or maybe go to the fridge and grab another beer. Maybe make some popcorn. I don't know. Whatever you feel like doing. We're gonna be here for a minute. Oh, there's 4 quarts. That only took 30 minutes. We'll put this other quart in now and it'll take the other 15. All right, well, shall we go for a startup? See what she does? I did add 5 gallons of fuel in the tank. We'll see if that helps pull some fuel. actually don't like the sound of that with no muffler at all. That sounds terrible. The old 390 with no muffler and pea shooter exhaust. Nice and quiet up here. Oil pressure's pretty decent. Got over 20. She's got to run out of fuel now. Oh, you quit it. Yeah, it's out of fuel. Well, there she is. We're officially back on the Cadillac for now. We have a ton of work to do. Were those bearings great? Not really. Will they survive? Maybe. Have we already damaged things? Probably. Somewhere. I'm sure the cam bearings look just as bad. So, you know, at this point it is what it is until we figure out if we're just going to tear that thing apart and completely rebuild it again. But same problem that we had when we built it the first time. Those bearings are hard to find and they're extremely expensive. So we're going to keep pushing forward. We got to get tires for this thing. These things are so bad that even if we wanted to try to drive it, we wouldn't even make it a half a block. And there's been talks of starting to pull the interior out. Start looking at doing floors. So by no means are we done with this car. We're just, you know, had a lot of other side projects to get done. That little guy there, I had to fix him too this week. Not that we can ride him, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. We appreciate you guys very much. And we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget, it's hard to lose when all you do is win.